Returned once again today to actually deliver another stream of Banana Fish. Good to go. We're good to go with the sound. So yes, this has been the episode I've been the most worried about, to be honest, because there's so much just going down this show at the moment that you realize no one is safe at this point. No one's really safe because everyone's fighting their own kind of battle at this point in the anime. Even more so now. I mean, everyone's got a fight in this very one arc. So it's one of those things that you kind of think to yourself, okay, who's going to survive this? Because it's just one of those things that this anime proves to you that no one is safe because everyone that's kind of there can in theory be taken out. You don't really have that safety anymore. You just don't know who it could be, and it's actually one of those things that kind of fills you with that dread of who could it be. You just don't know. You don't want to be anyone because you've actually slowly grown to love the main cast of this show. So you don't want anyone to go, and it's going to be freaking horrible if someone does go. I'm not looking forward to any of this, to be honest. Really, I'm not. So yes, today we are doing episode 9 of Banana Fish, and yeah, I mean, God, when I was writing the title for my Twitch stream, I was like, Christ, my heart is already going 0 to 60 now. It's one of those things. This show does fill you with that dread. I have not felt this in quite a while. I mean, the last time I actually felt actual dread in a show was ReZero, because I was like, okay, so what could happen? What could happen? So you never knew, and the same thing applies in this show as well. So, gone live for Banana Fish episode 9. Oh, not episode 0, episode 9. And there we go. Right, gone live for Banana Fish episode 9. Yes, we are good to go, I think. Oh boy. This has been one of those ones I've been like, please, Lord of Christ, just don't. Just every single word of just don't. Just no. Stop. Give my boys a good life, okay? Just give my boys a good life is all I ask for. Even Shorter as well. Shorter's a beautiful boy, okay? He deserves the world. So stop hurting him, world, alright? Stop hurting him. God damn it. This show hurts me sometimes too much. Anyway, enough talk of my dread of this show. Let's get this show on the road. So in 3, 2, 1, let's actually be in this thing absolutely right now. Oh man, please don't. Please don't. Oh boy, indeed. Please just stop hurting him. Stop it! Okay, anime. Just stop hurting him. Christ. Oh, please just get this dude out. Get this dude out of the frame, please. Get this dude out of the frame. Just get this dude out of the frame. Good job, AG. Good job. Good job, AG. It hurts. It hurts so much because you just know Shaw doesn't want to do anything. That's the problem. God damn it! The show hurts. Oh man, don't. Oh man. Oh man. One interesting thing I noticed about the camera work just now, the thing with Ute was actually quite cool because the way it kind of structures him in the scenes is actually kind of neat because it's actually kind of slowly taken away the actual kind of presence he actually has in the world. Because beforehand, he actually kind of had that power in the scenes. He actually had some kind of dominance, but now as time went on and slowly as you grew to know who he truly was and where he really came from, what's really going on with him, the camera slowly just kind of isolated him in the frame. I thought it was actually kind of a neat thing to do. It's very subtle. This show's full of those moments, but god damn it, this show's horrible to watch sometimes. I actually can't believe Map actually made a show that actually hurts me each week. I'm actually still can't believe that. I mean, Mappa is a studio that makes animes that kind of make me go, I feel good this week. This anime's just like, nah, fam, nah, not at all. I'm like, great, thank you. Didn't need this today. They did betray us. They have betrayed us. Mappa has betrayed us. How can you make a show like Yuri on Ice that's full of happy moments, and you just made this show that makes me just depressed each week? Oh, please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please stop it. Please stop it. Oh no. Come on, don't do this to me now. Can life still please stop hurting shorter? Just please stop hurting shorter. What has life ever done? What has he ever done to life? This man's a good man. Oh man. He does. That's the problem. He tried to save him as well, which is the thing. It hurts so badly because you could see what he was trying to do the whole entire time. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do anything. But life is just horrible. Life is horrible. I mean, Arthur just being in the scene makes my blood boil like really badly. Like he has that presence makes your blood boil completely. Like, he might not even say a word, but it's just there. It makes your blood boil completely. It's horrible. Oh, please don't. Please don't. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, please don't. Please don't hurt me anymore. Please don't hurt him anymore. Please don't hurt him anymore. Please don't. Please don't. You know what's worse about this whole entire scene? The music that's actually playing over the scene itself. It makes the whole entire thing just hurt so much more. Like, it hurts so much more because of the music placement. I don't like what they've done with this scene. I don't like it. It's making me feel even. It's just. Oh, the music just. Oh no. My emotions go wild. Oh, don't do it. Oh, no. He's crying as well. He's crying as well. Can someone please remove Arthur from the scene? For the love of all things holy. Jesus Christ. This man. Ah. Oh, man. Can someone just please... Can someone just... Oh. I've hated anime characters in my life. They've changed the ending. They've changed the ending. The madman's changed the ending. They've changed the ending. Mappa, I do not like this. I do not like this, Mappa. You do not do this to me. Oh my god. He wasn't in the water that time. I have no words, that's the problem. I can't enunciate my own words for this episode. That was absolute... That was horrible. That was even worse than horrible, actually. Did I change the ending? Am I going nuts now? So I remember, is he in the water beginning? Hold a second, let me actually go and find out. I'm not too sure whether or not I actually did change the ending. Let's have a look quickly. Unless I never started at that point of the ending. That could be another thing. Maybe not, actually, the more I think about it. Trying to find what actually finishes on the ending. Because each one of them kind of cuts the music and then goes into the ending. Some say the madman's changed the ending. No, there's a bit just beforehand that I've never seen before. That's what's happened. So they haven't changed the ending, so I never saw that bit beforehand. Right, that's... I said the madman's changed the ending. But no, they haven't changed the ending. It's just that there's a bit beforehand that's just the water on its own. That's why I never saw it. I thought, that's it. It's episode 6. 7? 7. Right, anyway, yeah, so... I was gonna say, I swear, because it always starts in Ash in the water. I thought, okay, that's a bit interesting, but no, it's just a bit beforehand where he's not in the water. That's it. There we go. So it's just a bit different from the different endings. I mean, it kind of adds a little bit more to the whole episode, but I do apologise for the beginning part. I thought they actually did change the ending, but clearly they haven't. I thought they did. Anyway, enough of that. Holy freaking hell. The episode hurt, like, way too much. Jesus Christ. It's worse, the worst of it all is the fact that, again, Short is a victim of circumstance. He isn't a victim. He wasn't actively trying to put himself into the situation. He wasn't doing anything that puts him in this kind of in this mindset of betraying anyone. He's kind of forced into the whole entire thing. And it makes the whole entire thing hurt that ever more when you think about it, because you can see him. He's hurting every single time he sees someone get hurt. He's hurting his whole entire episode as well. It's one of those things, and this episode hits a crescendo, but the crescendo it hits is the reverse of what a crescendo should do. A crescendo should actually, in theory, just make everything go to a moment where it kind of goes, okay, so now we know the gravitas situation, and now the characters know what they've got to do next. I mean, yeah, we do know the gravitas of the situation itself, but we don't actually get the idea that it's the gravitas of, okay, it's gonna look better for the future. No, it's not that at all. It's still pretty freaking awful for all of them, I must say. There's not one single character that kind of had it okay, in the theory, out of our main characters. None of them were safe. It just kind of proves to you there and then that no one is safe. You know, people you care about most will perish because life is that way. Life is horrible towards Ash. Ash is trying to kind of get away from this whole entire thing, but life propels him back into it. And at that point, you see the people close to him kind of perish, and it's horrible. It's horrible. It really is. It's one of those things I can't stand looking at it, because it's just one of those things that he's a man trying to get away from everything, and life is just not allowing it. Life is just putting him back into it. Like, oh crap, just leave him be. Just leave him be. And then Arthur as well. Holy mackerel, he ain't the main antagonist. Yeah, I want him completely just taken the F out. Just like, oh my god, that man. I can't understand it. He makes my blood boil. Like, the problem is, he's voiced by very good boys in anime, and it hurts my heart, okay? He's voiced by Otter from Tanaka-kun as well, which is the worst possible connection I could possibly make in a situation, because he's an amazing person in that show. And then he's now voicing Arthur. I'm like, no! He's voiced by Tanagaki as well from Golden Kamuy, who's a good boy! And now in this show, he's a terrible person. I can't freaking believe it. This is a betrayal. This is Mappa betrayal right here. This is Mappa betrayal, but god damn it, his voice works amazing, because god damn it makes my blood boil. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Oh, god damn it. Yeah, but this is the worst thing was when Ash shot him, he was crying. It was both tears of the fact that he's been relinquished for the pain he's in, and also the fact is that now he has to end it at that very one stage. It's one of those things that is horrible to witness, because he's a person that wants to escape as well, and it kind of proves to you there and then that there is certainly some area to this idea that there could be a tragic end for Ash, because you saw it with Shorter, the idea of having to get away from certain things but not being able to the point that you actually have to front it, and then in theory lose in the end, lose completely. Like, become a pawn in the whole entire narrative. It's just, it's horrible. And it's just one of those things that, I guess this arc reinforces the idea of the past not being able to escape from it, really, when you think about it. This arc kind of proved that whole entire theory, kind of true. This idea of you not being able to escape it unless you front it and then actually face the consequences. Whether or not you get out of it alive, that's the question. It's one of those things that's what fate does. Fate is one of those things that you either front it and see what happens, or you escape it and then be on the run for the rest of your life. It's one of those things that I'm guessing now Ash knows Ash knows the gravitas. He knows what's going on here. He knows what's at stake, really. Especially now that he had to take out his own best friend as well. It was one of the things that it's kind of the main proof of the whole entire gravitas, the idea of having to take out one close to you. It kind of proves to you there and then that there is no kind of happy ending, really, because everyone that gets close to you is either going to perish or end up even worse. We just don't know. That's the thing, because it's one of those things that, look, AG leaving, you say to yourself, it's a horrible thing to say. Like, look, it's horrible for him to go, because you know the importance. So, as I said 2 weeks ago, you know the importance of AG in the narrative, but at the same time, you understand that at that very one stage, it's kind of proof here, the gravitas of being with Ash is very on point. But then at the same time, as I said beforehand, even if he left, what life does he have afterwards? what life does he have afterwards? That's the thing. I don't know. That's it. Kind of proves that there's no clear cut idea in this show. There's no clear cut idea to actually kind of tell you this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen to the characters. Nothing. It doesn't tell you anything because it makes you. It gives you a false sense of security. Really, the show does, because you have certain moments where it's kind of like, okay, it's not so bad. I mean, 2 weeks ago we had that for a little while, and then it got bad. But then after that point, it didn't kind of improve. It didn't have a point where it said, okay, look, it's not so bad now. No, it got worse and worse and worse. And I think it's trying to drive in the idea of what I was saying beforehand. The idea of, look, you can't escape this. You're forever here. Look what I'm going to do to you now because you've done this to me. And it's one of those things that it's horrible for Ash, because it's one of those things he kind of has to then say to himself, Am I ever gonna get out of this? Will I be able to survive this? What's gonna happen? Do I just give up? I'm not too sure. Who else is gonna perish in this whole entire thing? And it's one of those things that it's kind of horrible, because you can see it within Ash's eyes. This idea of, like, Christ, what do I do now? And it's horrible. I mean, Shorter deserves so much better. He was an amazing character. He was one of those characters that you loved him so much. Actually, kind of see him go down. It's just one of those things. It's horrible, and especially when he was looking up, and then when he got shot as well, it's one of those things that it was just, oh man. And especially to use the banana fish on 2 people that Ash cares about as well, and it's kind of one of those things that it hurts even more, because he's actually lost 2 people he cares about from this drug that he actually, it's unescapable. It's inescapable as well. Inescapable, but yeah. I mean, damn it. It's one of those things that, I mean, one of the things I want to see now is what Yute's going to do next, because he's one of those characters that kind of has a very, very interesting kind of alliance, because you don't really know who he's kind of going for or against. It's one of those things, he's very in the shadows at the moment, because you don't really know what he's trying to do, because there's certain things that you kind of learn from him, make you go, okay, so I understand more about you now. So that's kind of changing certainly some perception I had on you beforehand, because beforehand, like, okay, so who is this person? And you're like, oh crap, and then you actually kind of like, now, how do you feel towards him? Because he's come from a place that you just kind of understand that he's even the pawn in this whole entire thing as well, and it's horrible. It's horrible as well, because it's one of those things, you just don't know what's going to happen with him next. And it's one of those things that the show even did that. The show kind of slowly just took away the actual kind of dominance he had in certain scenes. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's one of those things that the show kind of took away the dominance he actually had in certain scenes with the camera work, because the camera work was actually really phenomenal in the show as well, especially in this episode as well. Even when Shorter was kind of losing his mind as well, the idea of how they just kind of framed it was one of those things. It was a very interesting way to look at it, because you don't know yourself what it's actually kind of like, so you actually have to rely on camera work and body work to actually kind of get you to actually understand how a person goes through in that very one scene. I think the actual camera work, the voice work as well, actually kind of did that perfectly. It really kind of elevated what is otherwise this drug, because you've only ever really heard about it. You've seen it kind of first-hand, certainly at points in the show. We haven't really seen it first-hand, but now you're actually seeing what it can do, and the actual kind of implications behind it, and what it actually can do for the future of humanity as well. Because, as Dino was saying at one point, Dino was saying, look what we can do now. You actually have people kill their own families. And it's one of those things that it kind of adds a lot to the plot itself, because, okay, so you have technically 3 narratives going. You have 2 or 3 narratives going on, really. You have the idea of people escaping, the idea of his banana fish, and the idea of taking down Dino as well. So you've got 3 narratives technically going on at one time. It's a multiple kind of narrative structured show, and each event kind of makes certainly some part of the narrative kind of grow bigger than the other one. It eclipses it slightly to actually kind of make it go, oh crap, and then it kind of one of those things that makes you then go, okay, we need to sort this out right now. But will, that's the question. That's the thing. We don't know. It's one of those things that you don't actually have a mindset that's a positive outcome to the show at all. You never will have a positive outlook, because the show tends to kind of subvert that all the time. Actually, can make you go, Christ, no, this isn't what I expected. This is going even worse than I expected. And yeah, I mean, it was horrible. Just seeing him just lose his mind and have to take out a person he cares about as well, because it's one of those things that he said to him, look, I promise you I won't do anything to you, and it's just one of those things that he was forced against his will as well. Ah, man, it was horrible. It really was. It was one of those things that it was disgusting to watch, because you didn't want to see him go through that. You don't see anyone go through that, really, because now if they mass produce that whole entire drug, it sends the world into disarray, really, when you think about it. It's one of those things that you just don't know what they can do. It's a weaponized drug at this point. You don't know what the government could do with it. You don't even know what the military can do with it as well. You just don't freaking know. They could capture someone and then turn them against the whole entire platoon. I mean, it might aid someone, but at what cost? It's one of the things that I think certain shows do tend to actually kind of evoke this idea of advanced humanity, but at the same time, people have to get hurt at the same time. And I think the show does that quite perfectly as well. This idea of advancing humanity in a kind of very barbaric way. This idea of turning a person against them, against their free will, and actually kind of then have to go take someone out. And it's horrible, really it is. It's one of those things that Banana Fish itself, as a concept, is relatively disgusting, really, when you think about it. Like, really disgusting, because it turns people against the other person, and then they have no way to get out of it unless something triggers their mind back to where they were beforehand, like what happened with Ash and Shorter. The idea of how he shouted his name, and actually he got back to where he was, but at the same time, he's not fully cured because he's grieving. He's a person that's kind of hurting a lot, and it's one of those things that it's one thing to get off of it, but the same thing is the lasting implications behind it and what it actually can do to a person. He actually saw it with Shorter himself. His idea of how he came back to his own mind, but then at the same time, he was still really hurting. So you have more than one thing going on with the Banana Fish drug, really, when you think about it. It's one of those things that it's more than just one thing. It's horrible when you think about it. It really is, because it's just, this show. It really is. It's one of those shows I never really expected to actually do this to me the whole entire time. I always heard I heard the manga is quite heavy, but I was like, I've seen heavy in my time, but god damn it, each week, you leave it and you don't feel like you can just front the rest of the day. You just kind of feel like you just want to go lie in a corner and cry. That's what you kind of feel like afterwards. And it's a very novel feeling to actually kind of feel after an episode, really, because, I mean, the other show I covered this whole entire season is Asobi Asobase, which actually kind of makes me laugh all the time, and you have this show that makes me depressed all the time, so it's one of those things that, I don't know, but, god, this show is brilliant. It really is. I can't fault this show, because this show is absolutely brilliant. Like, it's one of those things that, even the colour green was still prominent in his episode as well. I mean, I kind of saw it quite often, even with Dino as well, which I was actually kind of surprised about. I mean, Dino himself was actually kind of seen with green all around him, and this idea of having to escape your past. I mean, even Ash was wearing green earrings as well. It's one of those things, it's a heavily prevalent colour to actually not be symbolic of something. And I'm guessing it's this idea of not being able to escape your past. And I think that's what green does invoke in essence. Green evokes this idea of having not to be, kind of starting a new life, this idea of prosperity. And in theory, when you think about it, having green in a scene that actually evokes the complete polar opposite, it kind of proves you there and then that this idea is that you can't escape it unless you kind of have some way. But at the same time, what happens then? And it's all those feelings. I don't know, but Christ, this show, this absolute show. So I do apologise once again for saying that their madmans changed the endings. I actually thought they did. I thought Christ actually changed the endings, the madmen, but no, they didn't. Actually, kind of kept the ending the same, but just a little bit beforehand. That kind of doesn't have Ash in the water. That's why I was like, hey, wait a second here. But yeah, I mean, we lost a good person today. We lost Shorter, which actually he was an amazing person. Like, he really was. It's one of those things that I'm guessing is I've seen from people say on YouTube that this arc will leave a mark on the whole entire narrative, and I think it will, because it's not as if Shorter's just a character. He isn't. He's a part of this world. He's a character you grew to love, and the fact now you've actually lost him, you can actually see the gap he leaves in the group itself, which is one of those things that I like when a show does this. When a show actually kind of has writing that allows a character to feel alive to the point that once they're gone, you feel that they're gone. It proves you there and then his writing is something to actually kind of be marvelled at, because not many shows can actually do that. Shows have to kind of do a lot to actually kind of achieve this idea. I think Banana Fish actually really did that perfectly. It kind of actually evoked this whole entire idea perfectly, how much of an importance Shorter was to the narrative itself. And then at that point, once he's gone, you're like, Christ, you feel empty, and you feel empty to everyone else. As I was saying last week, you don't really feel like a passive viewer anymore. You feel like you're actually a part of the world itself, and actually, you kind of want out, and you can't get out. You yourself is kind of feeling the exact same thing Ash is feeling. You want out, but you can't, because you kind of you're too attached now, and it's kind of one of those things that, Christ, it's quite horrible. So yeah, that is me done for today. I've actually just rambled on for a long while. It's 42 minutes actually. Jesus Christ. I do apologise. I've actually rambled on quite a bit. I don't know whether or not my rambles had enough cohesion to it, but I do apologise it didn't. Because my mind's a bit scattered right now. It's just one of those things that this episode really kind of killed my emotions. But yeah, I mean, Christ. So, that's our episode of Banana Fish done. We've got like 13 weeks left, I think. Now we're not even halfway. We're not even halfway through yet. I'm actually feeling all the emotions already. So, yeah, as always, if you actually have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole, then do leave a follow on Twitch, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you enjoyed it here on YouTube and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you enjoyed it here on YouTube and you want to stay a bit longer, then do leave a sub, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. And if you want to join the Discord server links actually in the description there. See, my mind's a bit scattered. So if you want to join the Discord server, please do, because then you actually know when these streams go live as well. So until next time, until next Thursday with some more goddamn sadness, I will see you guys later. Bye for now.